What's up, everybody? John Charmijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the debut album from the band Shezmu, entitled Travers Les Lambeaux. This is released on Krucyator Productions. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very traditional, dark, Egyptian mythology-influenced hybrid of both death metal and black metal. Yeah. Over the last several years, Shezmu has been making a very strong and passionate name for themselves within underground extreme metal, and this band's body of work has been nothing short of impressive. Going back to this band's earlier first demo release, to two consecutive EPs that were released within 2018, The Scent of War and Bleaching the Tomb. Both EPs showcased what was going to be soon to come from a project like Shezmu. And this band has a very distinctive and incredible knack for creating really good black and death metal. Of course, with some really awesome lyrics and some very nice artwork pieces to back them up. One thing to note about Shezmu is the fact that this project is one of the many projects formed by one of the main people behind this band, Count Bergabe. He is the guitarist and vocalist for Shezmu, but he also runs his hands in other really awesome projects. I recently covered the split with Primitive Warfare that he did with one of his other bands, Complot, which is some seriously sick black metal, really good stuff. But he also has some really awesome other bands such as Hexeth, Moulin Banal, Penombre. I believe they did a split with Basmu, if I'm not mistaken, and Sadomagical Seducer. All seriously wonderful projects here, but I think Shezmu is where he really gets to shine and do his thing really well here. Moving into the new year, we finally have the debut full-length from Shezmu entitled the Travers Les Lambeaux. It's 7 tracks, and it clocks in at around 32 minutes in length. And this pretty much is a culmination of everything Shezmu has done from the past up until now, all coming full circle and all sounding as incredibly dark and devastating as ever before. This is a very awesome debut full-length, and I would highly consider it to be one of the very best of 2020. Musically, there's a lot to get involved with here with this album. From the minute you hear the opening riffs of the title track to later songs like Cérémonie Magique, Pour la Bataille de Megiddo, Ode à Hathor, Les Secrets des Ziggurats. Just some really fantastic guitar playing going on throughout this entire album. I'm almost sensing a bit of a John Gelso Profanatica-esque sort of essence when it comes to the way these riffs sound. You get some really great riffs, some nice dive bombs, some top-notch intricacy when it comes to these riffs and how they're played and how really well balanced everything is. It's just some really strong songwriting, especially once again going back to the opening track of this album to the closing track with Lex Talionis. Just some really awesome songwriting going on here. I think that's one of the strongest points about A Travers Les Lambeaux, which, if I'm not mistaken, also loosely translates to Through the Shreds. Just some really great songwriting going on here in terms of the riffs, in terms of how audible the bass tone is. That's another really awesome thing about this record is the bass tone. Very good bass tone, very clear, very audible in the mix. Definitely holds its own amongst the riffs that are Latin throughout this entire album, and I think it's really awesome. The drum performance is very good too. I definitely get a strong natural vibe when it comes to this drum performance, when it comes to the blast beats, when it comes to the overall song lengths and syncopations. I really do appreciate this drum performance a lot, especially for some of the shorter tracks that appear on this album, like the Les Secrets des Ziggurats and L'Arrive de Thomas Dechus. Just some really awesome stuff here. Great drum performance, great great energy, great drum performance all around. And when it comes to the vocals, this is another thing that makes Shezmu a very interesting band, is how the vocals are delivered. You get some really awesome growled vocals. You get almost a little bit of a reverb sense in certain parts. Everything is well established. Everything sounds good. The growls are awesome. But I also love hearing the mixture of shouted, wailing vocals. You can almost sense that this guy is in a sense of torment by the way he's talking. And I really appreciate that little extra detail of emotion in terms of his vocal performance and overall variety. And another thing that really makes Shezmu stand out is the content and the lyrical themes that appear on this record. Of course, as I mentioned, Shezmu dabbles in some Egyptian sorts of mythologies, like on the track Hathor. I think this refers to a Egyptian goddess. You have track 2, Cérémonie Magique pour la Bataille de Megiddo, which of course the Battle of Megiddo. I believe the opening track has to deal with stuff like rage and anger and revenge. The closing track, Lex Talionis, has a bit of an eye for an eye sort of storyline. And of course, Les Secrets des Ziggurats. I believe that song also delves in the ideas of mental illness and schizophrenia. Just some really, really wonderful and captivating stories to be told as far as the concepts and lyrical themes of this album goes. There's really a lot more to this album than meets the eye, and that's what makes Travers Les Lambeaux so special. So overall, if you're a fan of Shezmu, if you're into any of the projects that Count Bergabé is involved in, if you are into black and death metal, I really do think Shezmu have delivered a very, very strong and statement-making debut full-length album with a Travers Les Lambeaux. This is some seriously top-notch black death metal. Of course, Canada is a great hotbed when it comes to extreme underground metal, and this album is further proof point of that. So, if I had to think of any personal favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say the opening title track, Ode Hathor, Les Secrets des Ziggurats, Le Rêve des Temps de Chus. This whole album is just awesome to listen to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Shezmu Bandcamp page where you can listen to this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it by digitally and is currently available physically as a CD. This, of course, is the CD version put out through Krucyator Productions. There you see this really badass artwork, song listings, Pro CD, credits, you have lyrics in here. I know we're going through pandemic times right now, but the guy from Krucyator, being the absolute professional that he is, made this CD get sent all the way from France over to here, which is fucking insane, and I'm very thankful that I was able to get a copy of this album. But yeah, definitely pick it up from the label or through the band, whichever way you prefer to do it. So, again, the album is Travers Les Lambeaux by Shezmu. This is released on Krucyator Productions. Definitely check this one out. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very strong 9 out of 10. Definitely one of the best debuts of 2020 in a year of already awesome debut full-lengths. Shezmu is the real deal. So if you happen to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it and how you feel about it. Are any of you guys into Shezmu? Definitely let me know. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until the next time, Armijo out.